it's the day after, and I've come up solo hunting this time, and made up the hill in about an hour and a half. Bloody exhausting, quite hot, and now it's raining or drizzling. The bush is quite wet, so quite a good day for hunting. The wind's perfect, and I just got to go over the other side of the bloody ridge and see if I can get onto the first stag we heard roaring, the one we heard in the evening. I've come all the way down the bloody ridge. I only heard one roar at the top, that was it. I'm getting quite cold because I've been walking with my hood off. My back's all wet from water dripping off the trees down the back, so I'm going to make a fire here. I just found a dead rata right here. So the secret to making fire in the wet bush is to get a handful of dry twigs, standing twigs. Even if it's wet, the core or the inside will still be dry. If it's really wet, you'll need to whittle the outside of the wood off with your knife, but this was under a bit of an overhang there, so it's fairly dry, so I'm just going to hold the end of it and get it going in my hand like this. A rata is probably one of the best woods to use for firewood in New Zealand. As you can see, it's starting to crank already, even though the wood's wet. I'm just going to keep loading it up, get it going real good. Take my singlet off, dry it out. Hung my jacket up from the tree there. A lot of heat's getting up there. Should dry it out real quick. Holy shit, what an epic mission. I'm bloody exhausted. Went twice as far as I was meant to, and I'm now stuck on the side of the road, about 40k from my vehicle. Walked over the top of a mountain range and back down the other side. Well, it wasn't quite a mountain range, bloody felt like one. Got bluffed, couldn't find the bloody creek. Heard one stag roar at the top, chased him down, smelled him, couldn't find him. Carried on down the ridge in hopes of finding another one, but nope. 29th of March and all is quiet on the western front. Bit of a shame really, because we had that one going to town yesterday. Absolutely going off his rocker. Came in, cocked up the shot. He buggered off. I'll give him another week, and then I think I'll go back up where that one was hanging out and see if I can have another crack at him. Pretty sure we completely missed him. Bullet went right over the top, so that was a bugger. Oh well, plenty more deer in the forest. Now I just made a call on the sat phone, waiting for my lovely wife Kristen to come and pick me up. I was going to give hitching a go, but I don't think the tourists would appreciate my hunter's makeup. I don't think I get a ride, so I'm just going to do some stretching, have a bit of a nana's nap, wait for the van. These here are rohutu berries, and they're about the nicest berries you can find in the New Zealand bush. They're bloody good. There's this orange variety, and there's also a red variety as well. I'm not sure which I prefer. I think I prefer the orange ones. They taste a little bit like a persimmon. They're bloody good. No sign of stag grubbing. It's looking pretty dismal. Might have to try the other side of the valley. Well, I got onto a stag just before, but he just let off a couple of moans and then he shut up. It's the 1st of April. I think it must have been a juvenile stag, as he just wasn't into it. A couple of moans, then he sifted off. I walked parallel backwards and forwards, and he walked about 100 metres away, let off another moan, so I just threw in a towel on him, pushing up over to the next catchment, or not the next catchment, the next ridgeline, the next catchment, the next creek, up or over the hill, another 300 metres altitude. Whew. Working hard. Hopefully there's a mature roaring stag in this next basin. just had one going hard out. I closed the gap. I was about 20 metres away. Couldn't see him yet, and then just a puff of wind went uphill. That was it. Shut up. Snuck off. How frustrating. Been at it for 2 days now, and that's the first stag I've closed the gap on. But he stopped roaring. No sight or sound of him for about 10 minutes, so pretty sure he's winded me. And he's gone. Full on. Took my boots off halfway up the hill, so hopefully I'll be able to find them. Well, guess I'll push up to the next ridge and see if there's one going over there. Bloody wind's going all over the place. Well, that was a bit of a lesson. You take your boots off, put them in your bloody pack, unless you're absolutely sure of where you came up. I went back down the hill, went to find the deer trail I came up on, and I couldn't tell if it was the right one or not. Bloody hell. So I finally found my boots, and now I can get back to hunting 20 minutes later. Shit. It's midday. I got a bit of a bum deal there. It was about 11:30 when I went in on that stag, and it was right on that time when the downstream wind changes to the upstream wind. So I had a wind shift, and it just totally cocked me up. A bit of a bugger. First roaring stag I've heard in 2 days, and I've put some pretty hard kilometres in. I'm going to go over break, have a feed, then crack into it again. Push up on the ridge on the other side of the valley, see if I can get one going over there. This is generally what I take for lunch on the hill. Some jerky, some dried figs or dried fruit, crackers and cheese. Simple, easy. I carry a couple of muesli bars as well as some nuts and raisins, and a bit of chocolate and a piece of fruit. Sometimes 2 pieces, couple of oranges, couple of apples. It's pretty good for all day on the hill. Good energy food, keeps me going, and it's light. I just got my first arrow away. I had to shoot through a bit of grass, so I couldn't tell if it connected or not. I didn't hear a thump, the deer took off, and I can't find any blood anywhere. I can't find my arrow. So yeah, I don't know. It was fairly close, broadside, and yeah, I just aimed for its shoulder and then aimed a bit lower. I think it may have gone right underneath him because I didn't hear a thump of any sort. What a bastard. I've just come up this damn hill. There's just windfall all over the place, and I was crashing along, and then he let out a moan from not far away, and bugger, first arrow gone, no result. I hope I got it on film. I was filming, but there was a bit of condensation around the lens, and hopefully I was standing side on. He just kind of cut across and he came back in front of me, and I just lifted up and fired. I don't know if my position was right for the camera or what, but can't review it till I get back to base. Up here for another couple of days. Had a couple roaring this morning and haven't managed to close the gap. As soon as I get close to them, semi-close, they just shut up shop, whereas this one kept going all the way in. He didn't come to me, I had to come to him, and he took off, and I just charged down, chased him, roared, and he stopped, turned around and came by me. So if I had a gun, I would have got him a piece of piss. But therein lies the challenge with the bow. Pretty exciting. I found blood. One drop. About 30 metres from where I shot him. That means I hit him. I was pretty confident I hit him pretty good. He could be still moving, I don't know. Oh, there's more blood down there. Sweet, I'm just going to maybe sit here and wait for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to track this blood down. Oh, some more blood down here. I wish I had more experience in bow hunting. I don't know whether to go in now or wait. I'm just going to wait for 20 minutes and go on in. Well, I didn't catch up with him. I tracked him for about half a kilometre, and the blood got less and less and less. I did find the arrow after about 200 metres, I didn't find the broadhead, so the shot must have been a little bit far forward. I ended up just, blood was getting less and less and less, and there was just a little spot in a piece of grass, and then holy crap, I carried on down the other side of the hill and there was so much windfall. I've got no idea how the bloody deer got up there in the first place. I guess I got down so he could get up, but he was pretty safe. Right on the top of the hill, windfall all around. I just happened to crash right by him and he let out a moan. And then, yeah, managed to sneak in. I did notice the GoPro was fogged up when I took it out of the case, so hopefully there'll be a bit of footage there. But I didn't hear anything else roar all afternoon. Wecker's not here. He's supposed to be here. Buggered if I know where he is. Hopefully he's got onto a couple of roaring stags and done better than me. Whew, knackered. Cup of tea time. These are the other nice berries that I quite like. They're just a kind of coprosma, but they've got blue and purpley tinges all through them. They're quite sweet, good to eat. Probably full of antioxidants too, having that blue purpley colour. Not quite as good as the rohutu berry, but they're pretty tasty still. This is stag shit, clumped together in a big clump. Not a big mature animal because it's not bigger than my thumbnail. I'm probably a, I don't know, 2 to 4 year old stag. If it's clumped together like that, it's stag shit. This is shit from a young hind, scattered. You can see it's not quite fully round, it's still a little bit oblong shape. That means it's a young animal, but not a yearling. Bigger than a yearling, probably 2 or 3 years old. This is shit from a mature hind. You can see it's round, it's quite big, almost as big as my thumbnail, and it's scattered. It's not in a big clump, it's scattered. So that's a mature hind right there. This is Bambi shit or fawn shit. You can see it's oblong shape and it's quite small, smaller than my small fingernail. This is yearling shit right here. It's oblong, it's got that oblong shape, kind of like a licorice ore sort, and it's about the same size as my little fingernail, maybe a little bit smaller than my little fingernail. So that's yearling shit right there. I had a few problems this morning. A bloody truck, the accelerator cord started sticking, so we just had to tie a bit of bungee cord there. We tried squirting some CRC down the cord, but I think the steel wire cable is threaded a bit. We got the boys, this is Wecker, this is Smitty, Scotty in the back, and we're going up for 5 days. The stags have just started roaring. Someone drove to the end of the road where we're starting from today and last night and gave a little roar, and 11-pointer charged out of the bush and they smoked it. So it looks like we've got our time and bang on. Been doing some pretty hard yards the last couple of weeks. Still haven't knocked anything over yet. We've had a crack. Smitty went up with Thomas first period and didn't see any deer. It was pretty quiet. So hopefully the old truck will get us up there and we'll be sweet. So if anyone, any of the head honchos from Toyota are watching this, or Isuzu, you can keep your Great Wall of China. I don't want one of those, but anyone else with a nice truck that wants to give me one to feature in my videos, send me an email, give me a ring, hook me up. These berries, you can eat them too. The seed is actually not that good, but you can eat the little orangey ready bit on the bottom. So if you hold the black thing and eat the if you hold the black thing and bite the orange thing off, they're not bad. These ones are a little bit bitter actually. Bit of a shit tree.
Not quite there.
They're really good for flavouring wild game meat, venison and duck and stuff.
That's a good one.
I've been fired from driving duties. We've actually swapped vehicles.
Main machine! Main machine!
We're in the Honda, hussing the Honda up. There's been a change of plans because the first helicopter never turned up. The second helicopter pilot was unavailable, we couldn't contact him. And then the third helicopter pilot quoted us a bit much, we managed to whittle him down. So good on you Dando, nice. Thanks for hooking us up. So we're gonna meet him at midday, but the daylight savings changed. We said an hour, and he said 12 o'clock, but that's on the old time. So we're either gonna have an hour's wait, or hopefully we'll be able to get him on the phone when we go past the service station up here, and not have to wait too long for him. So it's just been a bit of a day so far. What time is it? It's
10 o'clock real time?
10 o'clock real, no, 11 o'clock real time. Did you change your watch?
Yeah, I'll change it.
Oh, so it's 10 o'clock real time, 11 o'clock on yesterday's time. Guys, meanwhile, the stags are probably going nuts up in the hills, and we're pretty much just too lazy to walk for 15 kilometres to get in there. We want to get in there now and start hunting. We don't want to walk all the way up the massive river and then all the way up the steep creek, because then after we've done that, we still have to walk up the ridges to get the deer. So that's our day so far. Beauty. Well, it started raining, so we've moved into the shelter of the forest, get away from the continuous drizzle, set up the fly, and got a massive fire going. We also just heard our first deer roar from across the river, so it's looking good. We gave him a couple of roars back, and then he shut up. But it's getting later on in the afternoon, so I figure we'll dry it, have a cup of tea, and we might go up on a ridge somewhere and see if we can get one going. That fire's going to burn all night. Check it out. It's only just getting going too. There's a bunch of rata on there that is going to start humming pretty soon. It's another day. It's bloody humid out today. Everyone's very wet. We're soaked. It stopped raining about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the bush is just fucking drenched. We're soaked already. We've only been in the bush for about an hour. Wet to the skin, sweating. It's hot. One small stag started up behind us. There's a real good mature boy over there somewhere, but he hasn't made any noise today. And because of this fucking humidity, my lens is still fogging. Yeah, so any comments, boys?
Let's get into it. Yeah. Hopefully an old mature boy up on the top of that saddle is going to go. It's going to go down. The 7th is the magic day.
Say something insightful, Smitty.
I'm soaked.
Bloody hell, we've had 4 of them going, and we closed the gap on the one up the hill. He shut up. This one down here started, so we came down to this one. He shut up. That one up there started up again, so we hung around the middle, decided to go for this one. We're just closing the gap. We're really close, and then from just across the other side of the valley, we're Wicker and Scotty up. Boom! And he shut up. We kind of knew that was going to happen. We're like, quick, let's get in there and shoot it first before fucking Wicker lets off a gunshot. Wow. We heard a couple more roars, but that was it. Just to hear a roar here, a roar there. We were absolutely saturated from walking through wet bush. So we decided to come back and have a nice cup of tea. So we had a cup of tea, we got a roaring fire going, dried out, and we're just discussing about whether or not we should go up that hill, or drink some more tea, and the next thing, boom, boom, 2 more fucking gunshots right from the area that we come from, because we were going to go back this afternoon or tomorrow morning when the stags cranked up again and hopefully nail one. And it sounds like bloody Wicker and Scotty have been mowing our lawns. So hopefully they've got 2 good stags. If they come back with no deer, I tell you what, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something feckin' drastic. Might have to play hide the poo in their pack or something. But I reckon they're going to have a cracker stag each. Actually, I reckon they'll have 1 shitter and 1 half decent one. And the big one's still up there waiting for us tomorrow. We'll see. They're probably about an hour away from coming back to camp. They were down up over that hill somewhere where we heard the double gunshots. It was boom boom. I did give Wicker a video camera to video stuff with, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't holding that video camera because both those gunshots went off at the same time. We shall see.
So, heck a chunk of steak off.
That's how they roll in Te Aomuru, straight on the hot rocks.
Yeah. chunk of steak each. Good for the heart. Good for the
That's actually pretty bloody good for dirty old stag.
Especially for fresh back steak. Not bad. Cooked on the rock.
Better than scallops?
No,
Not quite.
no, not quite.
What you got there, Scotty?
bit of venison back steak, heart, bacon, onion stew, freshly killed today.
Well, I'm on the move again. Solo hunting. Went on a one stag right on daybreak, but he shut up when I got halfway up the hill. Bloody thing. So I'm trying to get the jump on the boys and get upstream a bit and mow their lawns, seeing as they mowed our lawns yesterday. So, but hopefully there's no one up at the top hut. There's bloody hunters everywhere up here. We've already run into two bunch of different hunters further downstream, so all that block that I hunted prior to the roar is now out. We just left it for them, and then we had this little block in the middle. Ran into another couple of hunters over the other side of the pass, and apparently there's 3 more up here, but I haven't seen any footprints yet, which is good. So maybe they're lazy hut hunters and haven't pushed past the hut, so we'll keep pushing up. Got about 3-4 more k's to walk. Uphill, down bloody dale, and yeah, we'll get away from this creek when I get up a bit on those plateaus, make a gear stash, see if we can hear some more roaring stags. It was good to see a bit of success from the boys yesterday, but just really old, mature, past their prime stags. One of them had 2 4-inch antlers, one was kind of squiggly. I'm actually going to go back and see if I can find the carcass and get the head off it, because one of the antlers had this big squirrely twist on it, so it'll make a real cool knife set. One was a double banger and the other one was a really weird twirly thing, and that stag only had 3 legs and he was limping in really bad condition, so they shot him, put him out of his misery. And we did eat his back steaks and his heart. My god, the back steaks were tough, but the heart was bloody good. That was a bloody good stew we had last night. I've climbed up onto this terrace. I had one going just below me on that bottom terrace, but when I got up there he shut up again. This has happened quite a lot. Saw a couple of his hinds and gave them a wave and pushed on up this ridge. I'm bloody hungry. I'm not a really good breakfast eater, but I tell you what, these absolute wilderness banana porridge breakfasts are really bloody good. I just whacked some hot water in there this morning, smacked it in my backpack, and yeah, an hour later having breakfast. Hopefully push on up this big huge ridge, go from 200 to 700 meters, and big plateau up there. I reckon there'll be a cracker stag on there somewhere. One way to find out. Straight up. Today did not go at all as planned. Did it, bro?
Another frustrating day in the hills.
Smitty went over to where we had about 5 of them going yesterday in the morning. Not a one. I went after the one that I snuck in on last week that winded me. In the crack of dawn, it was going nuts too when I got up. Sweet, packed all my shit up in the dark. Made a quick breakfast. Didn't eat my breakfast though, just made some of that absolute wilderness porridge. Smacked it in my backpack for later. Charged on up the hill, and as soon as I got close, it shut up. So I came back down and decided to go upstream to this big plateau. And Smitty said when he started walking the hill, this stag started going off again. So I should have just bloody stayed up there and snuck in on him. Displayed a bit of patience, but it's really windy today. It's blowing easterly, southeaster, and the wind is just screaming down the valley, and that seems to have put all the stags off. I've heard a couple moan, but they've just moaned, and that's it. They haven't got fired up, which is a bit of a bugger. It's the 8th of April. The 8th of April is usually prime time for roaring stags. They're usually going off their chops, but not today. I've had a nap. I've had a few cups of tea. I'm running out of tea. I've got 2 tea bags left. Run out of sugar. I'm almost out of food, so I'm going to bloody go out tomorrow or the next day. Bugger it! Unless I can shoot a deer and have some delicious heart. We're just waiting on Weka and Scotty to... got no idea where they are. They're off in the hills somewhere. I suspect that they went up the same ridge that I went up, which was not a good idea because it was just windfall and shit everywhere. And
I went uphill and decided to go back down the hill again because it was so crap.
Well, we're now 4 or 5 days into it. We've had 2 hours of good roaring. And thanks to a gunshot that ruined Christmas for us, and it's been quiet ever since. It's not blowing its guts out today, which is bloody nice. Another bloody wallow. What's that, like number bloody 45 or something?
45 for the month.
Christ almighty. We found so many wallows and heard so little roaring stags. This one hasn't been used in a week or so. We're heading up into new territory, into parts unknown. It looks like primo stag country, so hopefully that wind starts blowing upstream, because it's been blowing bloody downstream all morning. So we'll think positive. It's going to start blowing upstream. We'll come up over the ridge. There may not be a roaring stag there, but there'll be a bloody stag somewhere up there for sure. And no other boot prints this far up, so it's good. We finally got one going. He's not going very good, but he's let off a couple. He was quite close when he first moaned, and then he's moved across, and we've identified on the map that he's on this little outcropping point, which kind of makes sense. So he's only about 200 metres away. We're going to push across and hopefully get him fired up, and Smitty can nail his first deer. Stag. Oh, first stag. Well, we've closed the gap. We've come across to the next ridge. We found a big wallow, and he's just stopped roaring. Just like that, just cut off. We waited for about 15 minutes over there, had a bite to eat, and he didn't fire up again. How bloody frustrating. It's the 9th of April, and they're still not going very well yet. Might be all over, maybe it hasn't started. Who bloody knows? We're going to push on down this ridge, drop into the creek. We're about 7 kilometres from the vehicle, so it's good we don't have far to go to get back. For a cup of tea, we might actually stop and have a cup of tea. Well, that's it. That was our the big roar trip during the peak time, and the buggers just didn't get cranking. But nonetheless, we had a marvellous time. No deer were seen. Oh, Weka saw one, Scotty saw one, they got one each. Far from a trophy by any means, but yeah, it was a bloody good week up in the hills, and it's not over yet. I'm going to go home, have a night to recover, then I'm going to crack back into it. Got to be into wind, don't you? Smitty's got to go to work though, he's spewing. This was the time for the trophy stag, and they started moaning. They roared here, they roared there, and then they just stopped. Here comes a man now.